invention to condense the rocks in an asteroid belt into a solid ball. Yeah, it's called gravity. Hello friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up, if you please. Today we're diving back into r/TalesofNeckbeards. Oh my goodness, it is that OCTOPREGBEARD coming back around again, and it might be the end? Question mark? Peeking at the end of the post, it seems like this will be the last entry, which means that we've wrapped up like a whole ton of sagas, which I'm super proud about. We'll get some compilations up for you guys. If you want to see the previous parts, I've also started adding all of the parts of these sagas into playlists, and they are displayed in a card while I'm doing the intro. Hopefully that can keep things like a little less confusing for people, because I know people want like sequentially numbered stuff in the title, but I can't really give up any real estate in the title. You know what I'm saying? This is also the last episode that I will record on my laptop, because I've got a new computer coming tomorrow. Check it out. Oh, god damn. That is so tasty. I've been ranting about it in the Discord for days, and tomorrow is the delivery, so I can't sleep. Gonna record some Neckbeard stories. I guess we'll see how it goes. We'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this Tales of Neckbeards cringe. OCTOPREGBEARD, or Why I Don't Take Fetish Commissions, Part 5. The final part, maybe. Hello again, readers. I'm a writing coach, and I tell the occasional story about my most neckbeardy customers and the general weirdness that I encounter in my line of work, anonymized, of course, to protect both the innocent and the bearded. I go by the name Anonymous Griper, and I am at your service. Although, if you would like some help from Anonymous Griper, I have her Patreon link in the description, and she is indeed quite helpful with the writing services. Hopefully you can head on over there and give her some relatively normal work so she doesn't have to deal with people like this anymore. Anyways, here's our cast list. We got OP, a writing coach based in Wales, UK. I specialize in helping people with science fiction and fantasy stories. OCTOPREGBEARD, Octo for short, is a customer of mine with a fetish for pregnant women. Specifically, pregnant squid women. Mama Squid is OCTOPREGBEARD's fictional species. Humanoid, yet somehow boneless. Boneless pizza. Yum.
Yeah, pizza, what you want?
Let me get a boneless pizza.
They're victims of a virus that wiped out 95% of their female population, or maybe 80% of their entire population based on the previous post. They're now trying to repopulate regardless. And surely the whole world needs to hear this tale. Surely there is no way that this series of books or whatever could fail, right? Maybe. Now, before I get stuck into writing this part, if you want to read this saga from the start, you can find part 1 here. Yes, indeed, those links also in the description and on the title card, which I mentioned in the intro. You can scroll back and find that if you missed the previous parts. But now, let's get to that freaky Patreon pledge. The best kind of Patreon pledge. Oh, not freaky in the fun way? Okay, got you. OCTOPREGBEARD has been an off-and-on Patreon supporter for some time, but he tended not to stick to the same pledge tier for longer than a month or two. Then came this strangeness. A couple of weeks ago, on a Wednesday, he told me that he wanted to restart pledging after a break, but he wasn't sure how stable his finances would be for a while, so he wanted to pay me for a year's worth of Patreon support up front. I'm not gonna... I can't, dude. As much as I would enjoy, like, a lump sum of cash coming my way, I can't promise that I would be, like, physically capable or mentally capable of keeping track or remembering how far along we are into that year of Patreon support. But then again, I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel. I'm not really like a legitimate businessman, as I'm sure many of my Patreons will tell you. I didn't understand his logic at this time, but okay, I was happy to accept a donation. This pledge would come to £175. No small amount for me. For reference, that's like a third of my rent or a month worth of groceries for me and my partner. We arranged for the payment to go ahead on Thursday, the next day. Thursday came and went, and I didn't get his payment. Yeah, I could have seen this one coming. Friday came, and by Friday evening, my time, I still had not received that payment, so I dropped him a message to ask about it. He told me that he miscalculated his finances and couldn't pay it after all. Yeah, gotta keep room for the Funko Pops and Gundam figurines in the budget, right? Oh boy. I mean, I understand OP's running a business and all, but like I've said many times about my Patreon, if you can't afford it, that's cool. If you want to watch the live streams or whatever that are hidden over there, just ask me for the link. I will drop you the link. You don't need to give me money. I live a very comfortable life thanks to YouTube. I love my patrons. They help to push the channel forward, but I would be very remiss to become the cause of anybody's financial failings. Now, I don't generally push people to pay me. Good. Regardless of whether that's for commissions or pledges. But I felt that it wasn't right for him to offer so much only to go back on his word, especially as he apparently hadn't thought about it enough to make double sure before he made such an offer. I pushed lightly by telling him that that money would have made a significant difference to me. He apologized and said he'd look at his finances to work out if maybe he could pay another way. Yeah, up on Craigslist, sell some of them Funko Pops. Surely they retain their value. As it turned out, he realized within 2 minutes that he could. And he did so. Well, I guess it's a good thing you pushed on him. I wouldn't have done the same, but again, I'm not relying on Patreon for my main source of income, so I get it, you know? Immediately afterwards, he told me he had a terrible day. Aw. In fact, he wrote a journal post about it and sent me the link. Oh, God. In short, his dad had a medical emergency and something bad had happened at his place of work. I was sympathetic, but I couldn't help but feel that he was trying to guilt trip me into returning the pledge. I didn't. Nor should you. What's done is done. I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm surprised you read the journal post at all. I would have just been like, oh, okay. Thanks for sending me this thing, TLDR. I'd like to clarify here that if he had stuck by his guns about not being able to afford the pledge, I wouldn't have pushed again. It was very much up to him about whether he kept his word or not. And I know that circumstances change. My main beef here was, why promise such a large amount without any due planning? I guess he's trying to flex, but yeah, you shouldn't flex if you ain't got money to back it up. Like, I don't understand either why he's dumping this chunk of change in your lap, particularly if it seems like he's having a hard time affording it. Just wait on the book for a little while or something. But, you know, maybe he sees it as an investment, you know, gotta invest in yourself and your pregnant squid girl book. Surely you're gonna make all his money back, right? For reals. Get it up on Amazon. It'll sell like hotcakes. Squid cakes, fish cakes. 2 days later, he sent me a message. Oh boy. In it, he told me that he wasn't enjoying the commission anymore, and I'd like to get a refund if I could. He complained that it was going on for longer than he had expected, and that I had been picking holes in his world building and not giving him solutions to the problems that I flagged up. Alright, bro, just kick back, you know, throw me some more money, I'll write the whole book for you. Don't sweat it. It's going to be about 10 pages long. We cut it down to a children's book, but the book is written. You still got to do the illustrations yourself, though. For clarity, I tend to hold off on offering solutions unless it's clear that my client is stuck. World building is about problem solving. It's about that satisfying aha feeling that you get when you solve one of the problems of your world or manage to make a feature that you really wanted to fit in slot into place. Why would I rob my client of that? Also, my clients know better than I do what they're trying to achieve with their projects, so yeah, I give them space to lead. They know what story they want to tell, so I may not know the most appropriate answer to a given gap in world building. So it's better that they get the chance to solve these problems first. Much like Bodhi, OCTOPREGBEARD is not looking for the chance to solve it himself. He's looking for somebody to basically ghostwrite for him. And OP elucidates as such. Much like Bodhi and the Beard of Phantom World, which we haven't gotten to, maybe we should, it seemed that OCTOPREGBEARD wasn't the type of customer who really wanted to get involved with problem solving. So, as he wanted the commission finished fast, and to take little or no further active role in his world building, I set to work writing up solutions to all of the gaps, whether I thought he'd like the solution I came up with or not. Here, you get what you pay for. Here are some examples of those solutions. He wanted the mama squid's pregnancy and birth to be as pain-free as possible, despite the reference picture he'd shown me of an individual with a fairly large head, which implied a large skull, which in turn implied painful and dangerous childbirth. I'm telling you, those fluid-filled sacks would come in handy. Yes, I got bones, kinda. They're boner bones. They're only rigid when they need to be. God. I suggested a moderately decentralized nervous system, much like that of an octopus, which would have a minimal impact on their intelligence and allow them to have no skull, or perhaps a different enough skull that it wouldn't make such hard work of childbirth and would not need to encase the brain. He wanted his species to leave their old planet and create a new one by using some kind of invention to condense the rocks in an asteroid belt into a solid ball. Yeah, it's called gravity. I'd previously pointed out that a planet created this way would have no atmosphere, so it would be impossible to survive on. And of course, he had no answer whatsoever for this. This seems like the dumbest way ever to create a planet. There's plenty of good planets, billions, trillions of planets, just laying around the galaxy waiting for inhabitants. I don't know why you gotta mush an asteroid belt together. Just to be different, I guess. But believe me, a story full of pregnant squid girls is pretty different. I revised this by saying they found a planet that was uninhabited by sapient life to live on. Duh. We were still having that tussle over whether human women would willingly be biologically adjusted to give birth to octopus aliens. And never be able to see their families or friends or Earth ever again. Most recently, he'd said, "The people of Earth actually suggested the deal originally. The idea was, at the time, Earth was only just starting out with space exploration. And so when they learned that not only were they not alone, but that the galaxy had its own political stage, they approached the mama squid and offered their own people up as surrogates in exchange for a formal alliance." Yeah, kind of like countries being united by a bond of marriage between royal families, except a lot creepier. I decided to go ahead and write this into his profile, with all of the negative consequences that it would lead to, like the need for Earth leaders to avoid public outcry by keeping the trafficking a secret, the demographic of women who would have to be sent over to avoid said outcry, probably women within the prison system or homeless women who few people would likely realize had gone missing. those women's attempt to protect themselves or fight back or get home, the difficulty of forming a secret network to achieve any of that when living within a telepathic civilization, and so on. I mean, like I said before, Japan will probably do it. You just have to send the home videos back to Earth to be sold on the blackest of black markets.
Hey, you want to see a movie? Nah, we're Japanese. Let's go watch a schoolgirl bang an octopus. Yeah!
And then everything went to hell in a handbasket. It hadn't already? It gets worse than this? After a day of working on all of this, I was about 2/3 of the way through the profile. OCTOPREGBEARD sent me a link to a YouTube video of the soundtrack for a very famous franchise and asked if I could find something like that to use as background music. Background music for a book? I said I would, and then casually added, "Why did you go looking for music? Because you've been getting Google Docs updates all day by any chance?" He said, "No, that he had a panic attack that morning." Reader, remember me mentioning in the last part of this saga about how often OCTOPREGBEARD told me about the tragedies of his life and how he was quite possibly using that as leverage? Well, I thought about this latest possible attempt, and the next day, I raised that issue with him. I said I was sorry to hear that he'd had a panic attack, but asked why he had told me about it. I pointed out that there seemed to be a pattern to when he told me these things. And he said, he hadn't meant anything by it. I expressed concern that this was his way of trying to make me hurry up with his commission. He said, it wasn't. Although, as I said above, he had told me that he had expected the commission to be done by this time. I mean, I'm not really surprised that he's up to manipulation tactics, considering all the deep, dark secrets that we got from peeking inside his fucking psyche. But I'm still a little lost on the soundtrack. Why do we need a soundtrack for a book? Can somebody help me here? Oh, maybe the comments will explain it. This is why I shouldn't record right before I go to bed. I bet the answer's like really obvious, isn't it? Maybe it's just old ReddX being a dum-dum. I don't know. I thought carefully about how I wanted to phrase my next words. It felt as if he'd been using a manipulative strategy to get me to speed up, and was denying it the moment that I tried to be direct about it. Leaving the situation like that had only made the project devolve further to the point where he didn't even want to do it anymore. So I decided to tell him that his regular tragedies came off as emotionally manipulative. Oh boy, laying it down quite flat. But I guess this is the only way to get through to somebody as thick-headed as him. For clarity, my exact words were, "This comes off as emotionally manipulative." I avoided making a direct accusation. Yeah, but he's still gonna take that to heart because he knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. I don't like to be harsh with people, and I strive to offer honesty without it being brutal honesty. There are so many better ways of being authentic with people. Passive aggression from my clients makes this difficult, though. If someone obscures their true intentions, then I can't really know what I'm working with. But I'm well enough trained in psychology that I can tell when someone is hiding something, after a while at least. Yeah, it's probably a very hard thing to discern through text, isn't it? If you're sitting down having a face-to-face, I could probably do that too, but through text, I'm terrible at reading the tone. If I let passive aggression go unchecked, then it can end up rubbishing the entire commission. I don't want that to happen, so I do my best to default to direct, passive aggression-free discussion instead. Or at least try to default to that. It takes two to tango after all. It's important to pick the right moment for that if I can, but sometimes there just never is a right moment. After all, the entire point of passive aggression is to go unnoticed, so if someone really doesn't want to be caught out, I guess, then calling it out can be a deal breaker for them, regardless of how careful I try to be. I mean, part of me says maybe OP is being harsh, calling him out for this just the day after he said he had a horrible day and all this stuff, but I can't really think of a good alternative solution, you know? Sit on it, be quiet for a little longer, let the situation worsen. He's using his supposed tragedy as a cloak to basically do and say whatever he wants. And I do think it is good to call it out as gently as possible, which is what seemed like it happened. I mean, the timing probably could have been better, but like she said, the timing of this is sort of difficult. And he doesn't like being exposed for what he's trying to do. So predictably, he got angry and said that I was handling this in the most unprofessional way possible. And he told me he wanted his money back. I pointed out that I had already done a lot of work for him, so it didn't seem fair to give back a full refund. He said he'd settle for half the money. Now you're negotiating on your refund? Bro, the pregnant squid girl's got a spine, but this dude, he ain't got no spine. I would never, ever negotiate on something like this, whether I am viewing this through OP's shoes or the beard shoes. He also told me that what I had said had triggered him. Again, his own choice of words. He also said, you effectively taken a creation that I was excited and passionate about and turned it into nothing more than a series of bad memories and wasted money. So it was good to see that he hadn't broken the habit of a lifetime by, you know, seeing any silver linings or anything like that. Yeah, he's definitely viewing this through like a lens of anger at the moment, so of course he's not going to see a silver lining. But this is about the point where I would point out that, look, you came to me for help. You wanted help with world building, not a fucking ghostwriter, right? I'm sorry that creatively we didn't see eye to eye, but half a refund doesn't work either. Oh, high five, OP. Because OCTOPREGBEARD had basically given up on trying to contribute to his own project partway through and had made me do more work than I usually had to do with a commission like this. Furthermore, I offered to tally up what I thought would be fair compensation and return the rest. I kept records of how long I work with projects, and I had spent 20.6 hours on his species. I based my pricing on a base rate of £15 per hour, which meant that I had worked for £17.73 per hour by this point. Well, $17.73 minus 15 is $2.73, and $2.73 times the 20.6 hours that I worked was £56.24. So I was happy to refund that much. God damn, you got paperwork and everything? OP is a legitimate business. What's the difference between me and you? He wasn't happy with that, as I hadn't told him what my base rate was before starting. So I pointed out that the service that he'd ordered for me to make a video about this species, oh, that's where the soundtrack comes in. All right. I was missing that. But yeah, that video had a set price, because my price list is already complex enough, and to keep it affordable. Honestly, and I know I'm tooting my own horn here, my videos at the time he paid were a fantastic offer. High ticket, but incredible value for money. I have since adjusted my pricing structure so that you pay for the written lore to be completed and then buy an upgrade to the video, so that the whole thing is more fair to me, and so that a customer or I can call a halt to the commission partway through without any bad feelings, as is what happened here. Now I'm kind of curious about these videos. You got them unlisted or something? Can you shoot me some links? I would like to see. Of course, OCTOPREGBEARD didn't like that, and got confused about how I charged £15 per hour, but was taking £17 for the project. I didn't know how to explain it to him in any simpler terms. I sent him the refund and hoped that that would be the end of it. I took £17 because you offered me £17. You were paying in advance. There's more work to be done. I don't know how many more ways you could possibly explain it. So yeah, here's your money, bye. Leave me alone.
Shut up and take my money.
Of course, it wasn't the end of it. He complained that he didn't agree with the amount of the refund, but gave me no explanation as to why, and said, I guess I'll take it. God damn. Negotiating on a refund. I love it. Then he posted a ranty journal entry on one of his online platforms. We had a brief admin problem the following day with the return of the money. My Control V buttons hate me, apparently, which I resolved. Yeah, pasting is hard. And I ain't even coming at you, OP. I know because I've published at least 2 or 3 videos that are titled r/subreddit. I will write a title here or something like that. It's like my placeholder. Sometimes I don't copy and paste the thing right. Anyways, he posted a second ranty journal entry the following day about the situation because fucking of course he did. His rant included how I hadn't communicated my concerns about the project, that I had turned the project into nothing but regrets, and how I shouldn't have been judgmental about his taste in porn. Which, by the way, he had never made clear that that was what his story was going to be.
What's the meaning of this?
I took your advice. From now on, I'm horny.
Oh, it was pretty clear to everybody but you, OP. I saw this one coming a mile away. You thought it was going to be a tasteful tale of love lost between pregnant squid girls? Nah, dog. Watching that unfold was amusing in itself. The first person to respond tried being edgy and accused me of getting triggered by the project.
You guys have officially made me lose my marbles!
Clearly having no idea that OCTOPREGBEARD himself had described himself as triggered in our DM conversation. Send me that screenshot. OCTOPREGBEARD found a way around dealing with that, assuming that it didn't go over his head completely, by saying that I'd been too PC to handle his project. The second person to respond pointed out that, rightly or wrongly, people can and do form impressions of you based on your taste in porn. And that was something that he would probably just have to live with. Or, you know, stop telling people about your taste in porn. Then nobody has any room to judge. You let them assume, but that's fine. Also, I'm really surprised that people are actually responding to this. Does he actually have a following somewhere? I am fucking shocked. This person also said that they had written a number of erotic stories in their time and never needed to do world building for that, so yeah, go figure. If he wanted to road test his story idea to see whether my reaction had been a one-off or typical of most people's possible response, then perhaps he should describe his project in a writing subreddit to see what people said. My gut says he's not going to do that. Because even people on Reddit would be horrified. I spend my day digging through cringe, and I still found so much to mock and be horrified about in just this online interaction. She never met him in real life, thank God. I know enough about him to know that he is a freaking weird dude. I don't really know if this saga is over, probably because I blocked him so I wouldn't have to deal with any more crap from him, but I might keep an eye on his vent journals just to see if any more comes of them. If nothing else comes up, then thanks for reading, and goodbye, my friends. TLDR, beard customer offers a large sum of money that he couldn't easily afford, emotionally blackmails me, leaves his side of the work to me, and then gets angry when I only give a partial refund, and shouts publicly about injustice of it all. What an idiot. I mean, I could have told you one way or the other that this project was going to end poorly. Even if it had been 100% completed in the allotted time or whatever he expected, it was not going to end well. Just based on what the hell we're dealing with here, I can't get behind it. I just can't. He is a dude with some very deep-seated demons that he needs to root out before ever putting himself in the public eye. Again, I'm shocked that anybody is following this dude and listening to what he has to say. He seems like a complete nut job. He can't even do math. I don't understand why the numbers work this way. Just shut up, take your partial refund, okay? If you was a real man, you'd stick by your words. You wouldn't talk about some shit and then not do it, right? At least do it eventually. At least at some point in the future. Say, oh, I can't work it out right now. In a month, I'll put some money aside week by week and I can pay you this next month. But again, he's not good with numbers. He's only good at two things. Pregnant chicks and squid girls. That's all I know about him. It's all I need to know. Definitely a class A creep, and I thank you so much for bringing this to us. I hope that you guys enjoyed the saga. If you did, I hope you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. Maybe share it around. That would be like the most MVP play. We've also got all kinds of plugs and playlists and podcasts in the description. If you'd like to check out something different from ReddX, that would be pretty cool. We've got social medias as well, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Come on through, say hello. I would appreciate it. We've also got my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons, and I would like to thank them as I do every video. So thank you very much.
Robert Waits, Baron Don Waggy Pants, Jarhead Jerry, Oorah, River Jerry, Rogue, TSM Kirby, Twisted Child, Captain Clown Jerry, Hong Kong, Cinema Susie, Fire Drake, Giggle Jerry, Latin, Levison Loves Jerry, so does ReddX, Silent Revolver, Sergeant Jelly Donut, Sundari Jerry, Baka, Aaron W, Althea Blue, Anunnaki, Asian Persuasion Jerry, yeah, Assassin Pug Jerry, Bang Bang, Grizzly, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that guy, Becca, Bitch Gremlin, Blade, the Hero, Blameless Fish, Blip Bloop Jerry, Camille Sarah, Cherish Kitsune, Commander J Tank, Princess Furry Worry, Ooh Jerry, Deltarune Jerry, Dennis Dayton. I'm still kind of weirded out by that, but okay. Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff. It's Morphin Time, Tom Power, Mr. Tom. Oh no, it's happening. A pimp named J. Chris. Yes, you have to say the whole thing. J.M. Coon, Jerry with an I. That is a different Jerry. The original Jerry, of course. Jerry. Jerry Blacktail, Jerry T. Harapist, Jerry the more Jerry than the other Jerrys. John Hero, Sim Boofing as if your boofing is free. Jerry. Tell it to the jury. Kira M, Kitsikin, Crewhee. Is that, I don't know what that's referencing. I'm very scared. Lady Jerry Nix, Miss Monday, Little Lone Wolf, Lord Lino, Jack's Rule, Vanilla Mel, Melgar the Destroyer, Mint Jerry Chip, the freshest of the Jerrys. I will say that about Mint Chip. Gives you a good mouthfeel. Thank you for making us feel like we brushed our teeth, when in actuality you are coating it in sugar. Mirthful Baker, my boy Nat one Nick, Natari, Nightmare Jerry, oh no! Origami Jerry, Gotta Fold Them All, Phantom of the Pines, Jerrykins, and Jerry Beth. Sidestep, Redwind, Rosemary Miller, Satori, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ash, Staples, Jerry, Stephanie Gooder, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Farron, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, the guy with the marble, I think their name's Jerry. I don't know why it's like Travolta voice. The One True Fusky, Token Black Jerry! Treeberg, Wilmags, you're a wizard, Jerry! Yet another different Jerry. 211 Jerry, the return of Jerry. A normal Jerry who is neighbor of 211 Jerry. Welcome back, Jerry. You guys are killing me. Hunter of Jerry, devourer of all things tasty, it is Tom. Ooh, there's 2 Toms and like 50 plus Jerrys. I ain't worried too much. Admiral A Tech, Emera, AZ, Banished Knight, Barbushka's forgotten the joke. It happens, bro. Cake Jerry, the original different Jerry. California Jerry girl, yay! Carrot Jerry, good for your eyes. Chia CD, welcome to the fold. Chia. Chris Meska, Cinnamon Buddy Dog, Crib Titties, Cuban Jerry, Smoke Some with your dog. Defon Jerry, Ghost of Alpha, Goose says honk. HMT, Mayor, Hydra Jerry, Irish Wish Watch. Jerry Yoldo Rivera, Jerry Bean, Yum, Jerry Roxers, yay! Jerry Zilla, defeated by the Toms. No, surely not. How could this come to pass? John Endors, JRPG, that is Jerry Role-Playing Game, a.k.a. Bloody Butterfly Gaming, KJW, Kajow, Crafty Kitty Cat, LaPG Jerry, ooh, Life of a Guardian, Little Ann Woods, hey, maybe next time, Midnight Sun, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Nagamai Origami King, Princess Rosalie, Jerry, congrats on the marriage, Ghosty, Ryga, Raptor Art, Saints Blessing, Solorian King, Snarry, that's Snom Jerry, Spoonie the Rogue, Steampunk Ellie, the Necro Jerry Con, not the original Jerry, and the most different Jerry, who might be. Oh, and also, Magdalene Marshall Thornrose, who's supposed to be there somewhere. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up, and by it, I mean another ReddX video, if you please.
Thank you guys all so much for killing it on the Patreon. Good God! I would also like to give a huge thanks to Farnham. Yes, indeed, down in them YouTube comments, paying tribute to his cringe distributor through PayPal. That is quite a generous donation, my guy, and I am hugely appreciative for it. If anybody else would like to sign up on the Patreon, you know, stop by the PayPal, throw a little bit of money my way, I would appreciate that as well. But as I said in the story, I only want money from people who ain't gonna miss it. You know what I'm saying? The most important thing is you came through, you hung out with me today, and I hope that you come on back and do the same thing again tomorrow. With a different video, though. You know what I'm talking about. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. That'd be cool. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye.